We all want to get more done, right? But what if the secret to productivity isn't about working harder? What if there's a secret clock literally ticking inside your body right now that holds the key to unlocking your absolute best performance?
Let's start with a really stark example. January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger explodes just 73 seconds after launch, and the whole world is watching, live. The investigation later found a pretty shocking reason for the disaster. It turns out, key engineers had been working for days on end with almost no sleep. Their exhaustion, it led to catastrophic miscalculations. We're talking 7 lives lost and a billion-dollar project up in smoke.
So, okay, you're probably not launching a space shuttle today, I get it. But does that dreaded 2 p.m. brain fog, does that feel familiar? You know that feeling, right? Like you're wading through thick mud when you desperately need to be sharp and focused? Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault.
And that mistake, it goes way beyond just one single disaster. We've actually built our entire modern world around a massive biological error. A mistake that costs every single one of us focus, creativity, and energy day in and day out.
You know, ever since the Industrial Revolution, we've been sold this one idea of success. Wake up early, work 9 to 5. That's the grind. But what's really happening is we're being forced to sync our entire lives to this artificial clock. And in doing so, we're completely ignoring the powerful, natural rhythm that's literally hardwired into our DNA. So, what is this hidden rhythm I'm talking about? Well, here's the big reveal. The problem isn't that you're lazy. It's not a lack of discipline. The real issue, the core of it all, is a fundamental mismatch between the world's clock and your own personal secret clock.
And it has a name. It's called your chronotype. The easiest way to think about it is like a biological fingerprint. I mean, it's that unique. It's a genetically coded program inside you that dictates when your brain and body are naturally programmed to be awake and alert, and just as importantly, when they need to shut down and rest.
And this isn't some newfangled idea either. It has incredibly ancient roots. Just think about it. Back in our tribal past, it would have been absolutely deadly if everyone slept at the same time, right? The tribe would have been completely vulnerable. So nature, in its wisdom, designed us with genetic diversity. You had your early rising larks guarding the tribe at dawn, and you had your owls who stood watch deep into the night. This variation wasn't a flaw. It was literally a survival feature. Still not convinced it's a real thing? Okay, check this out. In 1962, a French geologist named Michel Siffer conducted one of the most extreme experiments you can even imagine. He sealed himself in a dark cave for 63 days. No clocks, no sunlight, nothing. When he finally came out, he was absolutely shocked to find out he'd lost track of 25 entire days. He thought it was a month earlier than it was. His experiment was a total scientific bombshell. It proved, once and for all, that our bodies keep their own time completely separate from the outside world.
So, how does this actually break down across the whole population? Well, the research is pretty fascinating. It turns out only about 10% of us are true larks. You know, those people who genuinely, happily pop out of bed at 6 a.m., full of energy. Then you've got about 25% who are owls. Their brains don't really come online until late at night. And the rest of us, a whopping 65%, we're somewhere in between. And honestly, we're often the ones who feel the most lost, because society is constantly pressuring us to act like that tiny 10% minority.
But here's the really good news. This is not a life sentence of feeling tired all the time. Nope. Once you figure out your chronotype, you can unlock a window of peak performance every single day. A period of time we're going to call your golden zone. See, every single day, your body cycles between two very different states. You've got the golden zone. That's your biological peak. It's this 3 to 4 hour window where thinking just feels effortless, like you're sprinting downhill with the wind at your back. But then, the rest of the time, you can easily fall into what's called the trough. And that's where every single task feels like a brutal struggle, like you're trying to run up a steep flight of stairs.
And let me be super clear about this. This is not just a feeling. It's not some mind over matter trick. The golden zone is a real, measurable neurochemical event happening inside your brain. This is pure biology, not magic.
So what's actually going on in there? Well, during this window, your brain releases this powerful cocktail of chemicals. It starts pumping out alpha and theta waves. Those are the brain waves that get you into that incredible flow state, where time just seems to disappear. At the very same time, cortisol peaks to give you pure, focused energy, while serotonin rises to keep you calm and stable.
It's this perfect blend of high energy and cool calm that creates your biological magic window for peak performance.
Okay, so knowing that this neurochemical magic is happening inside you is one thing. But the real question, the one you're probably asking, is how do I find this zone? And maybe more importantly, how do I protect it? Right. Let's get into the practical, actionable strategies.
First things first, you got to understand the stakes here. I mean, this is huge. Research shows that working inside your golden zone is so ridiculously effective that 1 hour of focused work in that zone is equivalent to 4 hours of slogging through it when you're tired. Just think about that. That is your ultimate leverage, especially when a deadline is breathing down your neck.
So to harness this incredible power, you need a whole new strategy. Here it is, step by step. First, you've got to identify your personal 3 to 4 hour golden zone. Next, you schedule your absolute most difficult, mentally demanding work. The coding, the writing, the big strategic thinking, only within that window. And finally, and this is crucial, you create a forbidden zone. You have to protect this time, ruthlessly. No meetings, no emails, no low-value busy work. It's off limits.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, if you're a lark, your deep work needs to happen first thing in the morning. Maybe you can even negotiate an earlier start and end time at your job. If you're an owl, for the love of all that is holy, stop trying to force creativity at 9 a.m. Protect your late afternoons and evenings. That's your prime time. And for the majority of us in between, the strategy is to clear the middle of your day. Push all those meetings to the very beginning or the very end of the day to free up that precious middle block.
Okay, but what about breaks? Because let's be honest, working in your golden zone is intense. You're going to need to recharge. But here's a really critical question I want you to ask yourself. Are the breaks you're taking actually helping you recover, or are they making things worse? Turns out there are two very different kinds of breaks. First, you have stimulating breaks. Think scrolling social media, checking the news, watching a quick video. These things flood your brain with dopamine. Yeah, it feels good for a second, but what it's really doing is draining your focus even more. Then you have restorative breaks. And I'll be honest, these breaks are kind of boring. It's staring out a window, watering a plant, or just closing your eyes for 5 minutes. It feels like nothing is happening, but that's the point. It allows your brain to truly reset and recharge, so you actually want to get back to work.
So, when you put all of this together, it really points to a fundamental shift in how we need to think about productivity. It's time to stop fighting this constant, exhausting battle against our own biology.
If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Stop fighting your body. Your biology is not an obstacle you need to bulldoze through. It's a powerful wave of energy, and your job is simply to learn how to ride it.
So you see, the goal isn't about grinding for more hours anymore. It's not about forcing yourself to focus through sheer brute force willpower. The goal now is aligned effort. It's about aligning what you do with your body's natural peak so you can achieve so much more with so much less struggle.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. Instead of getting overwhelmed and trying to overhaul your entire schedule at once, just ask yourself this. What is the one single smallest change you could make tomorrow to start protecting and honoring your personal golden zone?